Hi children, welcome back. This is your Bhagya ma'am again. Students, today we are going to learn a new chapter in geography, second chapter, that is land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife. Students, at the end of this topic, you will be able to learn the importance of water and the conservation methods of water. Water. Water is a vital renewable natural resource. Three-fourths of the Earth's surface is covered with water. So, it is therefore approximately called water planet. We can also call this Earth into a blue planet because of the water which appears in blue color. The oceans cover two-thirds of Earth's surface and support a rich variety of plant and animals' life. The ocean water is, however, saline, it means salty, and is not fit for human consumption. Fresh water accounts for only about 2.7% on the land. Nearly 70% of this occurs as ice sheets and glaciers in Antarctica, Greenland and mountain regions. Due to their location, they are inaccessible. We cannot use them. And not only that, only 1% of fresh water is available and fit for human use. But these will be available in the form of groundwater, surface water in rivers, lakes, and as water vapor in the atmosphere. So, therefore, fresh water is the most precious substance on earth. Water can neither be added nor subtracted from the earth's surface. The volume of water never increases or never decreases. It always remains constant. Its total volume remains constant. It's because its abundance only seems to vary because it is in constant motion, like cycling through the oceans, the air, the land, and back again through the process of evaporation, precipitation, and runoff. In a sunny day, water heats up and turns into water vapor and goes up, condenses, and again it comes in the form of precipitation. This precipitation again, when it falls on the mountains, it comes in the form of runoff or streams or rivers. So this kind of process is also called water cycle. Humans use huge amounts of water not only for drinking and washing but also in the process of production. Here we can see we use water for agriculture, industries, generating electricity through reservoirs of dams or the other usages. Let us see the major factors leading to shortage of water. The shortage of water is mainly due to the overutilization of water or drying up of water resources or the water pollution. Water may use for the increasing population or the overpopulation, rising demands for food and cash crops, increasing urbanization and rising standards of living are the major factors that leads to the shortage of water supply either due to drying up of water resources or pollution. There are some countries who face acute shortage of water. They are most of Africa, West Asia, South Asia, and parts of Western USA, Northern Mexico, parts of South America, and the entire Australia. They face acute shortage of fresh water supply. And not only that, countries which are located in climatic zones are more susceptible to droughts, face great problems of water scarcity. Thus, water shortage may be a consequence of variation in seasonal or annual precipitation, or the scarcity is caused by overexploitation and contamination of present water sources like rivers and lakes. Before we get into the topic conservation of resources, let us see the major problems which are facing by the world today. Steps have been taken to conserve this dwindling of water resources or the reduction of water resources. Even though water is a renewable resource, its overuse and pollution make it unfit for use. For example, discharge of untreated or partially treated sewage or agricultural chemicals and industrial effluents in water bodies, these all are the major contaminants. They pollute the water. They pollute the water with nitrates, metals, pesticides. Most of these chemicals are non-biodegradable and reach the human bodies through this water. Water pollution can be controlled in the following ways. Let us see the conservation of water resources. Forests and other vegetation cover slow the surface runoff and replenish underground water resources. The second one, water harvesting. It is another method to save surface runoff. The canals also use it for irrigating fields. They should be properly lined up to minimize losses of water seepage. And the next one, sprinklers. Sprinklers effectively irrigate the area by checking water loss through seepage and evaporation. They release less amount of water and leads to low wastage. In dry regions with high rates of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. They also release less amount of water for the required plant. So the valuable water resource can be conserved by adopting these means of irrigation. In that way we can conserve the water resources. That's all for today, children. Stay tuned.